In the timeless words of Al Bundy, let's rock. Whenever Married with Children aired, fans eagerly tuned in to catch every episode. The iconic intro featuring Frank Sinatra's rendition of Love and Marriage set the perfect tone for the show. While Sinatra wasn't officially part of the cast, his music became synonymous with the series. The sitcom was a riot, centered around the brutally honest Bundy family as they navigated through life's ups and downs each week. Just reminiscing about Al's hilarious facial expressions is enough to bring on fits of laughter. But what became of the cast once the show came to an end? Did they continue to grace our screens, or did they fade into obscurity? Katey Sagal as Peggy Bundy. Peggy, Al's wife, brings her own set of quirks to the table. She doesn't hesitate to give Al a hard time about his job, hygiene, and even his performance in the bedroom. And she does it all with flair, a style she crafted herself. Sagal decided that Peggy Bundy would sport 60s-inspired attire, mocking the stereotypical housewife of that era. For her audition, she donned her own red bouffant wig, and when she landed the role, producers embraced her vision for the character. She truly made the role her own. Sagal's journey in the entertainment industry began in 1973 when she worked as a backup vocalist for various artists, including Bob Dylan and Tanya Tucker. She later joined Bette Midler's backup group, the Harlettes, and even released 3 solo albums, with her latest one hitting the shelves in 2013. Her big break came when she portrayed a newspaper columnist in the series Mary, starring Mary Tyler Moore. This role paved the way for her iconic portrayal in Married with Children. In 1998, Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, hand-picked her to voice the character Leela, the spaceship captain, in his new animated series, Futurama. Following that, she starred alongside John Ritter in the sitcom 8 Simple Rules in the early 2000s until Ritter's untimely passing. In 2008, she landed another leading role on FX's Sons of Anarchy. Some might call it nepotism, as she tied the knot with the show's creator, Kurt Sutter, in 2004. But there's no denying Sagal's talent and prowess in the role. More recently, she stepped into the shoes of Dan Connor's new wife on The Connors, replacing Roseanne. In 2022, she appeared in the film Torn Hearts and made guest appearances in 2 episodes of Tell Me Lies. At 70 years old, Sagal shows no signs of slowing down. She continues to lend her voice to Futurama until 2023 and is currently working on a project titled Torn Hearts. Ed O'Neill as Al Bundy. In the immortal words of Al Bundy, "O great one in the heavens who crafted the mountains, the sea, and beer." Could there be a more amusing lead character than Al Bundy? He peddles women's shoes, and not even the attractive ones. Yet, as Al nostalgically reminisces about his high school glory days, Ed O'Neill impeccably anchors this sitcom without overshadowing his co-stars. Instead, he seamlessly complements his talented castmates. O'Neill would accommodate fan requests for recreating iconic Married with Children moments and make special occasion phone calls in character as Al Bundy, albeit insisting on calling collect, perfectly in line with Al's penny-pinching persona. Ed was also a standout football player, earning a spot with the Pittsburgh Steelers after college, only to be cut during training camp, reportedly edged out by fellow rookie defensive lineman Mean Joe Green. Perhaps Green tossed Ed his jersey on the way out, too. Following a stint as a substitute teacher, O'Neill's breakthrough came in 1980 when he portrayed a police detective in Al Pacino's film Cruising. In the early 90s, he found success with family-friendly movies like 1991's Dutch and the Pee-wee football comedy Little Giants, where he played the rival coach opposite Rick Moranis. In 2009, he solidified his place in television history with his portrayal of Jay Pritchett in the long-running feel-good sitcom Modern Family. Most recently, he graced the screen in the 2020 film The Last Shift and made a television appearance in a 2019 episode of Weird City. At 78 years old, he is the proud father of 2 daughters with his actress wife, Catherine Russoff. Amanda Bearse as Marcy Darcy. Marcy Rhodes is the Bundy's neighbor who holds a grudge against Al, despite being Peggy's closest confidant. Audiences delighted in watching her take on Al, often challenging his national organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood with her own group, Feminists Against Neanderthal Guys. During her time on the Married, with Children set, she played a multifaceted role. Besides portraying Marcy, Bearse also helmed an impressive 31 episodes, notably Season 11's The Stepford Peg. Bearse, now 65, first gained recognition for her starring role in the 1985 cult classic Fright Night. Publicly identifying as a lesbian since 1993, she is the proud parent of an adopted daughter named Zoe. After a hiatus from acting since 2013, Bearse made a comeback in the 2020 cinematic hit, Sky Sharks. Bearse, in her early 60s, exchanged vows with her partner Carrie in 2010. Interestingly, Ed O'Neill and David Faustino were the sole original cast members not included on her wedding guest list. Bearse feared they would find humor in Two Women in Tuxedos, a concern O'Neill acknowledged during a 2013 interview. You can't separate the Al from Bundy. David Garrison as Steve Rhodes. Steve Bartholomew Rhodes is Marcy's former spouse, a conservative banker frequently caught up in Al's schemes. Steve treasures his Mercedes-Benz, reserving it exclusively for himself and denying Marcy the privilege of driving it. Although deeply in love initially, Steve and Marcy drifted apart over time, leading to their separation during the 4th season when he opted for a career as a forest ranger in Yosemite National Park. Garrison cherished his time portraying Steve Rhodes, but he yearned for the stage and departed from the show after 4 seasons. Shortly after leaving Married with Children, he landed a regular role on an NBC sitcom, Working It Out. Despite his exit, Garrison left on good terms, making 4 guest appearances in later seasons to update viewers on Rhodes's career endeavors. He originated the role of the Wizard in the inaugural touring production of Wicked, which commenced on March 8, 2005. Concluding his year-long stint on March 6, 2006, Garrison then assumed the role of the Wizard in the Broadway production starting April 4, 2006, succeeding Ben Vereen. After portraying the character for 15 months, he bid farewell to the role after his final performance on July 8, 2007. Ted McGinley as Jefferson Darcy. Jefferson ties the knot with Marcy for financial reasons, being young, unemployed, and indolent. However, Marcy gains herself a youthful lover. Moreover, Jefferson becomes a friendly neighbor for Al. Ted McGinley burst onto the scene in 1980, portraying Roger Phillips, the Cunninghams' nephew, in the concluding seasons of Happy Days. Subsequently, he joined the popular primetime soap dynasty as Clay Falmont, where feuding families struck riches, or rather oil. Apart from his role in Married with Children, McGinley is also recognized in pop culture as the archetypal jock in Revenge of the Nerds, 1984. His portrayal resonated because he somewhat embodied that persona in college. At USC, McGinley served as captain and earned MVP honors twice for the water polo team. In 1991, McGinley tied the knot with actress Gigi Rice, and the couple shares 2 sons. Today, at 65, he remains actively engaged, including voice acting like Faustino. McGinley lent his voice to 54 episodes of Transformers, Robots in Disguise, and recently concluded his appearance on the show Keeping Up with the Joneses in 2021. Dan Tullis Jr. as Officer Dan. Dan Tullis Jr. has portrayed the recurring character Officer Dan on the sitcom Married with Children. He has also appeared in television shows like 227, The Drew Carey Show, and The District, among others. In 1992, he was a regular member of the cast on the short-lived TV series Rachel Gunn, RN. He served as the television and radio actor for Select Quote, a life insurance company, in commercials. In 1976, he participated with his family on the game show Family Feud. 9 years later, he competed on Tic-Tac-Dough, earning over $15,000 in cash and prizes. In 1987, Dan Tullis Jr. portrayed the character Sergeant First Class Luther Fry in the film Extreme Prejudice, starring alongside Nick Nolte, Powers Booth, and Maria Conchita Alonso. Tullis has also been involved in theater, playing the role of Joe in Showboat in more than 18 productions worldwide, including Long Island, Europe, and Australia. In a theater production of Little Shop of Horrors in California, he provided the voice for the flesh-eating plant. Tullis is a parent to 2 children, Jillian Tullis and Dan Tullis III. Both are employed in the field of education. Hill Harper as Aaron. Hill Harper portrayed Aaron Mitchell in the series. His prominence increased in both mainstream and indie film circuits, with roles in movies spanning from Beloved, 1998, to the indie rom-com Loving Jezebel, 1999, to The Skulls, 2000. Harper delivered some of his most lauded performances in Jordan Walker Perlman's The Visit, 2000, an indie drama where he played a convict battling AIDS, striving to rebuild his life. He also took on the role of Lesham in the 2010 sci-fi original film Stonehenge Apocalypse. Apart from acting, Harper is an author of several books: Letters to a Young Brother, Manifest Your Destiny, released in 2006, Letters to a Young Sister, Define Your Destiny, published in 2008, and The Conversation: How Black Men and Women Can Build Loving, Trusting Relationships, in 2010. He penned The Wealth Cure, Putting Money in Its Place, and The Wiley Boys, both in 2011. During the writing of his book, The Wealth Cure, Putting Money in Its Place, Harper was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Following treatment, he received a clean bill of health. In November 2015, Harper received a call to adopt a baby boy, to which he agreed. By May 2017, the adoption of Pierce Hill Harper was finalized. In 2018, Harper acquired and relocated to the historic Charles T. Fisher Mansion in Detroit, Michigan. Harold Sylvester as Griff. Harold Sylvester is most recognized for his portrayal on the TV show Married, with children as Griff, Al Bundy's colleague and buddy at the shoe store. Harold's other TV appearances include the miniseries Wheels, 1978. Sylvester featured in Barnaby Jones, Season 8, Episode 4, A Desperate Pursuit. The short-lived 1981 series Walking Tall, Today's FBI, Mary, 1985, Shaky Ground, and A Different World as Dwayne Wayne's father, Woodson Woodchuck Wayne. The latest TV program he starred in was The Army Show. Sylvester had a recurring part on the TV series City of Angels. He has made guest appearances on various shows, from The Eddie Capra Mysteries to Hill Street Blues to Murder, She Wrote to NYPD Blue. His first role in Hollywood was as Nathan, a lead character in Part 2, Sounder, the sequel to Sounder. His more notable film roles are in supporting roles in An Officer and a Gentleman, 1982, Uncommon Valor, 1983, Inner Space, 1987, and Corina, 1994. He was under contract with Universal Studios. The Amistad Research Center of New Orleans, Louisiana, holds a collection of Harold Sylvester's papers that include his correspondence, film and television scripts, and materials related to his involvement with the Free Southern Theater and his Blue Bayou Productions Company. Sylvester has been wedded to Kathleen since 1970. They have 2 offspring, Rich Shidner as Luke Ventura. Shidner immersed himself in acting studies for approximately 4 years, securing a regular part on Married with Children as Luke Ventura. His interest in law school was sparked during his employment for a congressman. While attending George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia, he resolved to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. He initiated his writing journey by submitting material to Mad Magazine and National Lampoon, but encountered minimal success in the realm of comedy. Establishing himself as a stand-up comedian, Shidner made multiple appearances on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, Late Night with David Letterman, and The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. He also showcased his talent in an HBO half-hour special titled One Night Stand and made guest appearances on Comics Unleashed. Alongside comedian Mark Schiff, Shidner co-authored a 2006 book titled I Killed, compiling stories of comedians' experiences on the road. Shidner featured prominently in the 2010 documentary I Am Comic, embarking on a journey across the country to interview various comedians. This endeavor ultimately spurred his return to stand-up comedy after a 13-year hiatus. Shidner's comedic influences include Art Carney, Lenny Bruce, Red Skelton, and George Carlin. Janet Carroll as Gary. Janet Carroll takes on the role of Gary in the series. Carroll then showcased her talents in Kansas City and Chicago, assuming notable roles in various musicals such as Carousel, Guys and Dolls, Gypsy, Hello, Dolly, Mamie, South Pacific, and The Pajama Game. She later relocated to California, where she continued her theatrical endeavors, earning a Dramalogue Award for her portrayal of Clytemnestra in Ezra Pound's Elektra. In 1992, Carroll collaborated as a vocalist on the album This Joint Is Jumpin' Live, Beverly Hills Unlisted Jazz Band, a musical project spearheaded by Dixieland trombonist and actor Conrad Janis. Subsequently, she released solo albums including Presenting, Janet Carroll and the Hollywood Jazz Cats, 1992, I Can't Give You Anything But Love, 2000, I'll Be Seeing You, 2000, and Lady, Be Good, 2010. By 2011, she was in the process of preparing her fourth and fifth albums titled A Tribute to the Great Ladies of Song and Scorch Your Shorts Torch Songs. However, she received a diagnosis of brain cancer later that year and took a hiatus. Despite undergoing surgery and chemotherapy, she did not respond successfully to treatment. Carroll was survived by her two sons, George and Tom Brown. Tragically, Tom passed away in 1978. Carroll passed away on May 22, 2012, at her residence in Manhattan, at the age of 71. David Faustino as Bud Bundy. Bud excels in portraying the role of the unsettling younger brother, a character archetype whom Kelly delights in tormenting due to his lack of success with women and social awkwardness. His younger sibling Michael made numerous guest appearances on Married with Children, including an episode in Season 11 co-written by David, titled Trash. Faustino began his acting career in 1980 with a role in an episode of Little House on the Prairie. Many of Faustino's roles after Married with Children have either been guest appearances as Bud Bundy or portrayals of himself as David Faustino. While he hasn't achieved notable success in live-action roles, he has found considerable success in voice acting. Most recently, he portrayed a villain in 28 episodes of the How to Train Your Dragon spin-off series, Dragons, Race to the Edge. Did you know that Faustino also pursued a career in rap under the alias D. Lil? His single titled I Told Ya received some airplay in 1992. Additionally, in 2008, he co-wrote an electronica album titled Hollow Dreams. In November 2015, his partner Lindsey Bronson gave birth to their daughter, and Faustino, who is currently 50 years old, is currently involved in the production of a new animated series called Hollywood. Christina Applegate as Kelly Bundy. Kelly Bundy embodies the classic stereotype of the ditzy blonde, passionate about fashion and adept at getting under her father's skin. But Al Bundy's sharp retorts often put her in her place, creating some of the show's most memorable moments. Applegate's performance was outstanding, adding to her undeniable allure and making her a standout in the sitcom. Christina Applegate was born into the entertainment industry, accompanying her actress mother Nancy Pretty on the set of Days of Our Lives since infancy. Nancy even made a guest appearance on Married. with children during the fourth season. At just 12 years old, Applegate portrayed young Grace Kelly in a television biopic named after the iconic actress-turned-princess, with Cheryl Ladd playing an older version of Grace. In 1991, she landed her most significant film role yet, starring as the responsible eldest sibling in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Following the conclusion of her titular role in the series Jessie in the early 2000s after 2 seasons, she returned to the big screen, sharing the spotlight with Cameron Diaz in The Sweetest Thing. Applegate then showcased her comedic chops as Veronica Corningstone in the beloved film Anchorman, delivering memorable scenes alongside Will Ferrell. Her most recent notable role was in the Netflix series Dead to Me, spanning 3 seasons and earning critical acclaim. Despite facing a challenging diagnosis of early-stage breast cancer in 2008, Applegate opted for a double mastectomy, influenced by her mother's own battle with genetic breast cancer. Fortunately, she has remained cancer-free and resilient, now at 52 years old. However, she recently revealed her diagnosis with multiple sclerosis, demonstrating her ongoing courage in the face of adversity. We've seen the road has been filled with its share of ups and downs, but each member of the Bundy family and their neighbors have left an indelible mark on television history. So, as we bid farewell to our beloved Bundy family and their neighbors, we can't help but reflect on the laughter, the tears, and the timeless memories they've given us.